Hello, darlings, and welcome to our special edition of Pastors' Wives Tell All, where we three, Jessica,
Jenna, and Stephanie,
spill the tea on Thursdays.
grab some coffee or a pot of tea and listen in for all the tips and tricks and random facts you never knew you needed.
Until now. Hello there, and welcome back to Pastors' Wives Tell All, where we spill the tea
On Thursdays.
Today, we welcome two very special guests who happen to be on the podcast on Monday. So you might want to go back and listen to that because it is worthy of your listening ears.
I see what you did there, Steph.
I know, right? So if you want to get the joke, you got to go back and listen. I'm just saying.
But for real, it's probably one of my favorite podcast episodes.
It
So
was so good.
seriously,
for real.
you gotta listen.
For real. So it was amazing. Okay. So guys, we have Eric and Elyse, and we are going to ask you each a question. What is something that has been a very embarrassing moment in your life, or just something that you wish you could take back that you're like, man, I wish this never happened. Whatever comes to mind, funny or deep, whatever. So let's start with Eric.
Oh, well, I'm going to go deep.
Okay.
If this was the 100-acre woods, I would be Eeyore over here in my gloomy place.
Oh no.
That's my bent. So one thing I am very embarrassed about, and I actually tell this in the epilogue of my newest book, The Good Gift of Weakness, is there was a night when I was pastoring when I tore my Bible to shreds, like literally tore it in half and then kept ripping the pages.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was, so I was at a point in ministry where I was incredibly burnt out. We'd gone through a church split. Things weren't going well at the church. And for the backstory, I went into ministry incredibly proud and arrogant, thinking I was going to become someone and make a name for myself as a preacher. And if I just worked really hard to give the best sermons possible, then everything would go swimmingly, and everybody would love me and everything would be great. And I worked at that, trying to manuscript sermons, give the best sermons I could. And I was just done, and I was tired, and I was burnt out, and I had been depressed and not wanting to live for a couple of years. And I was in my office. It's 2 a.m. I'm wanting to write a manuscript because I've got to have a collection of sermon manuscripts to pass on to my grandchildren for, Grandpa Eric's legacy of 50 years in ministry. And I looked down at my Bible, and this is the Bible that I've preached from for all the years of my ministry, also thinking like, this is going to be this legacy Bible that's passed down. That's awful, isn't it? It's just awful. And I hated everything that it represented. Not the Bible itself, but that. And I grabbed it, and thinking like, it's a leather Bible, so obviously I can pull pretty hard on this thing, and nothing's gonna actually happen. Yeah, and then it tore, and then I was so angry about that, I just kept tearing and tearing and tearing and tearing.
No.
And
Oh my gosh.
it was confetti on the floor, and I got up, and I was so angry at myself. I kicked the office door, which was these louvered doors that I figured. That I'd just kick it and they'd swing open and go back shut. But one of them came off the hinges and fell onto my office floor, boom, with a crash. And it's like 3 a.m., something like that. It's the middle of the night. And I just fell to the floor weeping. I just fell there weeping. And then I heard the steps of Jenny coming down the steps, down her steps coming down the stairs. And thinking, oh my goodness, she's going to find me here. She's going to scold me. She's going to be so angry, which isn't how she responds, but that's just what my brain expected. And she just knelt next to me, and she's like, oh, Eric. And she was so gentle. And she said, why don't you go upstairs, just go to bed. And she picked up every piece of that Bible and stuck it in a gallon Ziploc bag. And the next day, by God's grace, I don't even know what I preached on, but I got up and preached something, probably the gospel. And anyway, I never told that story for years and years and years because I was so embarrassed about it. What would people think of me as the guy who one time tore up his Bible? Because what could be worse than that? And I'm starting to tell that story because I don't have to care what people think about me. Because I have a Savior who was on his knees in a garden, sweating blood, pleading with God to take the cup away from him. And he knows what it's like, and he knows how to help me in those times now. And
that's good.
It's powerful.
I have a question to ask you. What did you do with that Ziploc bag?
It's somewhere. It's somewhere. I'm going to give it to my kids one day and tell them that story. Be really cool. And that it's okay to be weak.
Oh, that's so good.
Because Jesus is strong.
That was the best embarrassing moment I've ever heard on a Spill the Tea. Once again, very spiritual.
Thanks for noticing me.
Already, you're
okay, Elyse. Bring it home, girl. What do you got for us?
When I was probably 8 or 9, my mom used to take me to the Lutheran church from time to time. And I remember writing in my Bible at that point, when I grow up, I will never go to church. So I wrote that.
Wow.
I wrote that as a promise to myself in my Bible. And God sits in his heaven and laughs. And then also one day, because I live in Southern California, I was at Disneyland because, duh. And we were actually on the riverboat ride. And I got a phone call from a dear friend at Moody Radio saying, "Are you ready for your interview?"
Oh, no.
And I said, "Excuse me, but I don't think I can do it." I would have tried to find a place to do it, but I was on the river and the riverboat ride. And it's really noisy, and there's no place you can go hide to try to do an interview.
Oh my gosh!
So that was a good thing.
Did they have you back on later?
I think that was probably, I want to say, about 15 years ago, and maybe they've had me on sort of more recently. I think
okay.
So it just took 15 years.
That I ghosted there. I think they're all gone, and the other people don't remember. So there you go.
That's good.
Here's the moral of the story: if you hang out long enough, people forget how stupid you are.
Okay, that gives me hope.
That's so true, except for their social media and podcasts now. And now they just see us be crazy every single day of our lives. So there's that.
It's fine.
Oh, bless.
Normal is boring. We say that all the time.
Yes.
So, you know?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gents listening on this fine afternoon, we shall say goodbye for now. Eric, can you tell them bye?
But
Cheerio.
I want to hear, yes.
Oh, that's what I was trying to get him to do.
Yes, I want to hear some British before we go away.
British.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on Downton Abbey.
Oh.
I think I'll go have me some Vegemite.
Oh, he sounded Australian.
Yeah. If I keep going long enough, I'll become a pirate.
Oh. I like it.
That's where every accent goes.
Yeah.
Well, that's us, except we start British and we go real Southern really fast. We don't know what happens.
Yeah, that's
right. All right,
weird.
Elyse.
Okay, Elyse, you got some?
Ta-ta for now.
There we go. Ta-ta for now.
Oh,
Go out
you
there
guys.
and spill some tea.
Go spill some tea. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Bye. Toodles. Okay, friends, if you have enjoyed this episode as much as we have, please help us spread the word on Facebook and Instagram.
If you didn't know yet, Instagram is where all the fun is at. From dance reels on Wednesdays to spiritual encouragement and laugh out loud posts in between, there is something for everyone.
And last but certainly not least, if you could take a moment right now to stop what you're doing and give us a rating and review, even subscribe to our podcast, this seriously helps other people find us who wouldn't be able to otherwise. Thank you so much for your love and support. We hope you'll tune in next week.